Hey everyone, it's Daphne and we're still working on Forest. And this is going to be page 4 and 5, and I like to do those side by side because they're a mirror image and they're right across from each other. I know there's more mirror images in the book, but they're not usually sharing a page split like this one is. So with that, I'm going to set page 5 over here a little bit so we can go over what's going on. So we're going to have a small flap which measures 4 by 6. You're going to score 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side, and it's going to open to the left, and the one on the right is going to open to the right. On top of that, you're going to have a flap that measures 6.5 by 6, and it's going to be scored 1/2 inch on the 6.5 inch side. And you'll do the same thing for page 5, and it's going to open to the right. And then underneath that, you're going to have a pocket, and this measures 7 by 7. You're going to score 1/2 inch along, it's a square to start with, so you're going to score 1/2 inch and then 6.5 inches, and then you're going to wind up with a 6 by 7 finished pocket, and it's going to get adhered to the bottom of the page like so. Now I've decided not to do a gusset or a hinge in the bottom of the pocket, and the reason is we're going to attach this flap to the top, and then if we had another score line underneath, it just starts to get kind of bulky and it's next to the spine. So I'm going to use these 2 flanges for the top and bottom of the pocket, and we're going to run a bead of glue along the bottom. And I'm going to try to remember to do that before I install it. So we're going to start by adding this pocket. And I'm just dry fitting to make sure it looks good, and it does. And then we'll add the flap to the top, and then this flap is going to close everything. So I'm going to go ahead and take my tape off, add my glue right to the bottom, and we're going to adhere this directly to the spine edge of this pocket page, and we are on page 4. Okay, so we've got one side in. Now we'll go ahead and take the tape off the other side and then press that glue into place. Okay. Maybe. It's not wanting to grab. There we go. And then we'll press that into place. Okay, and that's going to seal the pocket on top of it next to the spine. So this is sealed, not the pocket that goes onto the hinge, but on top of the page. Okay, so the next thing is we've got this flap, and it just goes right onto the edge. Very simple. And again, this is 6.5 by 6, score 1/2 inch on the 6.5 inch side. Oops. Pressed it. It jumped up on me. I wasn't ready. It's not straight. There we go. Nice. Okay, so there's our flap and our pocket, and now we're going to add this flap, and it's 4 by 6, score 1/2 inch on the 4.5 or on the 4-inch side. 4-inch side, score 1/2 inch, so you've got a 3.5 by 6 inch finished flap. There we go. So now we are going to add some magnets to keep this all in place. Okay, so we're going to put a magnet here and an opposing magnet here. And then we're going to build out page 5 real quick. And then we'll get to the decorating part. Sorry, it's not centered. I want it in the middle of the tape. There we go, much better. All right, now we're just gonna find its location. There we go. And as you can see, it's plenty away from the edge, so I don't have to worry about any exposure when I get my designer paper down. So that's done. Let's do page 5. Same thing, only the opposite. So the small flap is going to be over here, the larger flap on the left, and then here's our pocket. So I'm going to dry fit this real quick, make sure it looks like it's the right height. And I just turned it around because sometimes, I don't know why, but sometimes it fits better one way than the other. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to put one side down, and then I'm going to open it up and we'll run the glue and then close it. I think it'll be a little easier. So because, I'll bring page 4 is the closed pocket on this side. Page 5, the closed pocket's going to be on this side. There we go. So that's in. Now we're going to run our bead of glue and take the tape backing off. Or actually, I'll just do that first. And then we just close it over and we have a pocket. Okay, that's all in place. Now we're ready to put this flap in place. And then our last flap, which is going to close everything. Like so, and then we're going to put some magnets in. So we need a magnet for each side. Okay, that's page 4 and 5, at least the interactive components. So I'm going to set page 5 aside and we are going to start decorating page 4. And I think I've got my papers all lined up, but we shall see. I think I got them flipped. I think this is actually page 5 and this is page 4. Okay, this is from the 12 by 12 collection. And the way I designed this paper, this page, is I trimmed out one 6 by 8 piece, and then I sliced it a couple of times. Actually, this came off this side. Just sort of have this continuous pattern from the top flap to the pocket, to the top of the pocket and the inside of the pocket. So we'll cover these with something else, but when it's closed, I like this sort of continuous look. And then on the top, I've just got this nice dark contrast. Actually, I think I did it this way, yeah. So that is the current plan. And I did the same thing on page 5 where I started with a 6 by 8 and then sliced 2 edges off of it to kind of create that same continuous look when the flap is closed on top of the interior pocket. Okay, that looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this in. I'm trying to decide the orientation And actually it goes this way because there's a little bird there. So I'm glad I looked. I took the time to check it out first. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to open it up. I think I'm going to add the little pieces first. Yeah. Okay, there, and then I've got one more strip, and you see the pattern kind of continues, which I did on purpose. I like the way that looks. And so this is actually just a color block on top of that pocket, and I'll come back and add another piece. And I'll demonstrate that in a moment because I need to see the edge of the pocket. So there's the edge of the pocket. There we go. Okay, so then I'll color block something that goes right here, but not this because it's gonna go right here. And everything looks good. I had trimmed and pre-inked everything to kind of speed things up. Okay, lovely, lovely. So there's the finished look of page 4. So we still have our 2 interiors, or actually 3, right? This is a B-side, and the interior. All right. I don't know why I had this strip in here. I just did. I don't think it's for here. So I'm gonna go trim these pieces out, and I'll be right back. Everyone, okay, I went away and I trimmed out my papers for the inside of page 4 and 5, and we're going to go ahead and get started with page 4. So I'm using this cut apart from the 8x8 collection. I really like the back of it. I think it's going to be easy to place photos and to do some journaling or even do some cropped photos in these small squares. This is the piece that trimmed off one of the edges, so I'm going to use it here. And then this is an 8x8 from the 8x8 collection, and I believe I have to check for scale again. I'm not sure which size this came from, but I can tell you it was a scrap that I'm using, and I can't find it. This is from, I'm not sure. This is from the 12x12. So it was a scrap from the 12x12. Took me a minute to figure that out. Sorry about that. All right, so I think I've got most everything inked and trimmed. I do know that this last piece right here has to be trimmed to fit after I get this strip put in. This is ready to go. Okay, now I've got these 3 pieces. I'll get this out of view. These 3 pieces that need to lay down. I think I'm going to start with this one because it should be trimmed to fit on this panel. Yes, it is. And it's inked. Oops. Some ink or some glue flying across the room there. All right. It goes in here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay this strip down first, and then I'll trim this piece to fit. That's the other option. This or this. Let's look at it with this piece in here. It's 1 and 2. And actually, I think I like this better. It's not quite as busy. It's all inked and ready to go. Okay, now this is the last component, and let's see how much we need to take off. I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch off. And that should do it. Yes, looks good. Okay, so we have our flap, or the flap, and then a pocket here. So that looks nice. Okay, so that's 4. Okay, I've got 5 here, but I'm going to take a break real quick and dry fit and ink everything. Okay, so I've got my page 5 here. We've done page 4, and we're going to do essentially the same thing. I had trimmed out, this is from the 12 by 12. Trim this out to be 6 by 8, and then I took 2 strips off the back end of it to make this continuous pattern. And I did, excuse me, the same thing on page 4. And I am going to start again, same way I did the other one, is I'm going to start with these smaller strips first. Okay, and then we close this, and this is going to lay here. Let's dry fit that first. I think it's ready. It is. Good, good. All right. I know I'm not very chatty today. I don't know what's going on. I guess I don't have a whole lot to say. Been pretty quiet. pretty quiet. I'm ready for school to be out, for summer to start, because this homeschooling's killing me. I gotta sing my praises to teachers, man. I don't know how they do it with 30 students. I can't hardly deal with the one I have here at home. I think it's something different about being the parent too, but wow. Not only that, but good heavens, I've been out of school for 37 years. I don't really know my math anymore. So my son's a junior and he's doing trigonometric equations, and I'm at a complete loss to try to help him. Everything else is going smooth. I mean, it's a lot of literature and all that. That's easy for me and for him, but the math is a real challenge without having a instructor. So there we go. There's finished page 5. So we got to work on getting the interior finished. And again, this is a pocket. We'll have a nice deep pocket here for a nice huge insert for lots of photos, and even in here lots of photos. I'm loving the way these 2 pages have come together. Now I'm going to come back and finish the inside of page 5. Need to trim some things out, and I'll be back soon. Okay, I've trimmed out my pieces for the inside of page 5. And I'm going to start by laying this out. So I love this pattern. It's going to kind of flow onto the next page. The hinge is going to be right here. And then I've got a little open space that I need to trim this down for, but I can't do that until I get these 2 pieces in. And then I've got this piece for over here. And I like it this way. All right. I keep forgetting to put my cap on, so my glue is drying up on me. Give that another shot. There we go. Okay. All right. And then this is just, I just split the 2 pieces in half, so the pattern's going to continue. All right, and then we have this piece, and it just needs to be trimmed down to fit. And that's the other option, which it looks like a continuation of this pattern, but I'm not sure if I like it. So I'm going to trim it down, and then we're going to flip-flop it and make a decision. Okay, so that's A and B. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I like this, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit more, and then we're going to put it in. Okay, so that should be just about right. Last chance. I like the lighter color, I think. Okay, and then this is our last piece. And it's inked and ready to go. and that is the end of page 5. There we go. And then again, this is a deep pocket, and we'll have an insert for in here. Okay, that's it, guys. I'll be back soon.